The afternoon sun cast warm light through the windows of Riverside Café, illuminating the rustic wooden tables where professionals worked on laptops and friends shared quiet conversations. The aroma of freshly ground coffee and baked pastries filled the air, creating the comfortable atmosphere that had made the cafe a neighborhood favorite. Emma Walsh sat at a corner table, nervously checking her phone for the 10th time in as many minutes. At 29, the pediatric nurse had agreed to this blind date reluctantly, pressured by her best friend who insisted that Emma needed to start living. Again, after years of putting everyone else's needs before her own, Emma's light blue nursing scrubs were covered by a gray cardigan she had grabbed on her way out of the hospital after a grueling 12-hour shift. She had barely had time to brush her hair before rushing to meet this mysterious date her friend had arranged, and she felt underdressed compared to the business professionals around her. Looking at the menu board, Emma's stomach sank as she calculated prices. After paying this month's rent and covering her student loan payment, she had exactly $5.37 until her paycheck deposited tomorrow. The cheapest item on the menu was a basic coffee at $4.50. Emma had wanted to cancel the date when she realized how broke she was, but her friend had been so excited about the setup that Emma couldn't bring herself to disappoint her. She would order one coffee, make it last as long as possible, and hope her date wasn't the type to judge someone by their financial situation. What Emma didn't know was that the man watching her from near the counter was not just another customer. Ethan Morrison, at 33, was the owner of Riverside Café and 2 other successful coffee shops in the city. He had arrived early to check on operations, as he did several times a week, preferring hands-on management to distant oversight. Ethan had noticed Emma the moment she walked in because she looked so different from his usual clientele. Her scrubs and exhausted expression suggested someone who had just finished a long shift, and the way she studied the menu with careful attention made him wonder about her story. When Emma approached the counter to order, Ethan found himself stepping forward to take her order personally, something he rarely did anymore. "Hi, welcome to Riverside," Ethan said with a warm smile. "What can I get for you today?" Emma returned his smile, though it didn't quite reach her tired eyes. "Just a regular coffee, please." "The small size." As Ethan rang up the order, he noticed Emma counting out exact change from a small coin purse, carefully separating $4.50. The deliberate way she counted suggested this wasn't just convenience but necessity. "That'll be $4.50, Ethan confirmed, accepting her payment. As he handed her the coffee, he added casually, "We're actually testing some new pastries today and need customer feedback. Would you mind trying one of our cinnamon rolls and letting me know what you think?" "It's complimentary." Emma looked uncertain. "I don't want to take advantage of free samples." "You'd actually be helping us out," Ethan assured her. "Honest customer feedback is valuable." Emma accepted gratefully, and Ethan found himself wanting to know more about this woman who seemed simultaneously strong and vulnerable. "Long day?" he asked, gesturing to her scrubs. 12-hour shift at Children's Memorial," Emma replied. "Pediatric oncology. It's rewarding but exhausting." Ethan felt immediate respect for someone who dedicated their life to caring for sick children. "That must be incredibly challenging work." "It is," Emma agreed, "but those kids are so brave. They teach me something new about resilience every single day." Their conversation was interrupted by Emma's phone buzzing with a text message. Her expression fell as she read it. "Bad news?" Ethan asked, concerned by her obvious disappointment. Emma hesitated, then decided honesty was better than pretending. "I was supposed to meet someone for a coffee date, but he just canceled. Apparently, he looked me up on social media and decided that a nurse wasn't successful enough for him." Ethan felt anger rise at the casual cruelty of someone judging this woman based on her profession. "Then he's an idiot who doesn't deserve your time." Emma smiled genuinely for the first time. "Thank you for saying that. I'm actually relieved. I only have $5 to my name until tomorrow. And I was terrified about how I'd manage if he wanted to order food or go somewhere else afterward." The admission clearly embarrassed her, but Ethan found her honesty refreshing in a world where people constantly performed wealth and success they didn't possess. "Can I be completely honest with you?" Ethan asked, making a decision that felt both impulsive and absolutely right. Emma nodded, intrigued by his serious expression. I own this cafe. I've been watching you since you came in, not in a creepy way, but because you looked like someone carrying the weight of a difficult day. When you ordered just a coffee and counted out exact change, I saw someone who works hard and lives within her means rather than pretending to have resources she doesn't. He gestured around the bustling cafe. I meet a lot of people in this business. Most of them are performing some version of success, trying to impress others with what they can afford. But you just admitted you have $5 until payday without shame or apology. That's actually remarkable. Emma wasn't sure where this was going. I'm not sure if I should feel complimented or embarrassed. Complimented, Ethan said firmly. Emma, I know this is forward, but would you let me take you to dinner? Not here, somewhere nice. You've just finished a 12-hour shift caring for sick children, and you deserve a good meal and genuine conversation. Emma looked at this attractive stranger who seemed to see past her exhaustion and empty wallet to something worth his attention. I don't even know your name. Ethan Morrison. I'm 33, I own 3 coffee shops, and I'm terrible at traditional dating because I hate the performance of it. I prefer real conversations with real people. I'm Emma Walsh. I'm 29. I'm a pediatric oncology nurse, and I have $5 until tomorrow, Emma replied with a slight smile. I'm also wearing scrubs on what was supposed to be a first date, so clearly I'm not great at the performance either. Perfect, Ethan said. So we're both honest about who we are and what we can offer. That's already more promising than most first dates. Emma studied his face, looking for signs of pity or condescension, but found only genuine interest. Why would you want to date someone who's clearly struggling financially? You own successful businesses. You could date anyone. Ethan's expression grew thoughtful. My father was a firefighter and my mother was a teacher. I grew up watching my parents work incredibly hard while never having much money. They taught me that a person's worth has nothing to do with their bank account. He paused, his voice carrying emotion. I built these businesses from nothing, working night shifts at a grocery store while learning about coffee and customer service. Success didn't change who I am or what I value. I value people who work hard, who care about others, and who don't pretend to be something they're not. Emma felt tears, forming as she realized this unexpected encounter might be offering exactly what she needed, someone who saw her value beyond her financial situation. Ethan, I need to be completely honest with you about something, Emma said carefully. I'm not just temporarily broke. I have significant student loan debt from nursing school. I send money home to help my parents who are also struggling, and I probably will never be wealthy. If you're looking for someone who can keep up with an expensive lifestyle, that's not who I am. Emma, I'm looking for someone who knows what really matters in life, Ethan replied. Someone who spends 12 hours caring for sick children isn't someone focused on material success. That tells me you prioritize meaning over money, and that's exactly the kind of person I want to know better. 6 months later, Emma and Ethan's relationship had grown into something neither had expected but both treasured. Ethan had helped Emma refinance her student loans at better rates and had hired her to consult on a project close to his heart, opening a nonprofit cafe that would employ young people aging out of foster care, teaching them job skills and providing stable income. Emma's practical experience with limited budgets and her natural empathy made her invaluable in designing a program that actually served the population it intended, to help rather than just looking good on paper. More importantly, they had built a relationship based on mutual respect and shared values. Ethan appreciated Emma's dedication to her work and her refusal to compromise her integrity for financial gain. Emma valued Ethan's success that hadn't corrupted his understanding of what mattered and his commitment to using his resources to create opportunities for others. On the anniversary of their first meeting, Ethan brought Emma back to Riverside Café and led her to the same corner table where she had sat counting her last $5. Emma, a year ago you walked into my cafe with $5, nursing scrubs and a blind date who didn't show up. You could have pretended to have more than you did, but you chose honesty instead. That choice changed both our lives. He pulled out a small box and Emma's breath caught. I'm not asking you to marry money or success or business ownership. I'm asking you to marry me, the person who saw you at your most vulnerable and recognized that your value had nothing to do with your bank account. Emma's tears were happy this time, as she said yes, knowing that the blind date who had rejected her for being just a nurse had unwittingly given her the opportunity to meet someone who valued exactly what she was. The nurse who had spent her last $5 on coffee had discovered that sometimes our lowest moments create the conditions for our greatest blessings, and that the people who love us when we have nothing to offer but ourselves are the ones worth keeping forever. Thank you for listening to this story about finding love when you're at your most vulnerable and the importance of being valued for who you are rather than what you have. If this tale reminded you that honest connections matter more than impressive performances, please like this video, share it with someone who believes that character matters more than wealth, and subscribe for more stories celebrating authentic human connection. We'd love to hear in the comments about times when being honest about your struggles led to unexpected blessings, or when someone saw your value when you felt you had little to offer. Remember, the people who appreciate us at our lowest are showing us what unconditional love actually looks like.